You know, man, we watched the Emmys last night. Live programming, very rare these days. But I think overall we did pretty well in our predictions last week. I feel pretty good.
Yeah, and if you didn't check out those predictions, we would suggest going to our YouTube page, youtube.com/Nowstalgia Is it just Nostalgia?
Nostalgia Pod, you got it.
Like Nostalgia Pad. Yeah, and give that a listen because we laid out all the different scenarios that we thought might go down, including Fleabag coming through with as the big winner in the comedy categories last night. Phoebe Waller-Bridge winning the writing award as you predicted, and then also winning the Best Actress and Best Comedy award, taking down Julia Louis-Dreyfus for Veep and Veep in obviously the main category.
Right.
I think a lot of people were surprised, but I mean, Fleabag, the attention it's gotten critically has been trending towards it getting some sort of acclaim, which is why we came to the conclusion that if anything was going to take Veep down, it had to be this. How did you feel about Fleabag getting those awards, and maybe some other thoughts about the comedy category?
Yeah, well, I mean, obviously I feel great because we both love the show. It's actually nice to see the best piece of art actually win in the moment. We talk, no matter what award show it is, that often is not the case, or things are rewarded years later, seasons later. We've gotten into this before, but the fact that Fleabag is actually here in its second season and then wins so big is awesome to see it, especially considering there might not be much more Fleabag, if any. I know early on with Tony Shalhoub and Alex Borstein both winning again for Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, or Shalhoub winning, I think, his fourth Emmy overall. Early bellwether, is Maisel going to win Best Comedy once again? It turned out not to be true because, Fleabag started winning all the down ballot stuff. And, I mean, Julia Louis-Dreyfus not winning, I honestly was quite surprised. Just because she had won for all 6 seasons of Veep thus far. If she had won this one last final acting win, she'd be the sole leader in acting Emmys with 9. Obviously, she didn't. That was not the case, and it was kind of funny. I mean, the reception in the room was a little quieted or exasperated, you know? Mm-hmm. That's despite the fact that everyone's pro Fleabag and loves Fleabag, Phoebe Waller-Bridge and all that. So definitely didn't see it coming, but I'm obviously happy about the development. Veep and JLD don't need any extra adulation. As we know, they're fine. Those spots in the Hall of Fame are written in stone already, so it's all good to spread it around.
Yeah, it was interesting to hear, I think, Phoebe's excitement and her surprise as well. I think she probably expected Veep to take it home, but she's just a delight every time she talks, and is like, she's so genuine, and just the way she goes about things she's incredibly charming, I find. And I've come so far on her from where I fell on her with Solo, where I felt her voice work as the robot I didn't really love, and now I'm just like a huge Phoebe Waller stan over here.
Right.
But yeah, Julia Louis-Dreyfus, she'll get that acting Emmy at some point. I have no doubt. I don't think Veep is the last thing she'll do. I'd be incredibly surprised.
I don't think so. She's not that old.
No. I was really pleasantly surprised by a lot of the winners last night. And there were a lot of moments, one that really stood out for me was Jarrell Jerome winning for When They See Us. And the room and the excitement and the support in the room was just really overwhelming and awesome to see. And that felt just like a great award show moment to see this young person in this very powerful piece of art being recognized and upsetting some very prodigious people in the category as well. Sure. So how did you feel about that moment? Any thoughts?
Yeah, that was great. Didn't know or didn't think of the Central Park 5, the exonerated 5 guys actually being there in the front. You could tell they were really emotional about it. That's awesome. And Yeah, well, I expected When They See Us to actually even do bigger and beat out Chernobyl. That was not the case, but I did feel like the Jerome moment
Mm-hmm.
was coming, and I think that was great. Again, spreading it around a little bit, and Netflix does not have the lead series Emmy win still, but
Mm-hmm.
I think they couldn't be happier with how When They See Us has done up to this point. So yeah, that was great.
Yeah, and then Billy Porter wins Best Actor in a Drama Series for Pose.
Yep.
Becoming not only the first openly gay black man to be nominated, but then to win.
Right.
Pretty awesome moment. Also had a very, I was going to say awesome. I don't think that's the right word. Very cool hat. Reminded me a bit of a gravy boat, but I was digging it. I saw
Cam
a funny,
Newton-esque.
yeah, I saw a funny tweet that said you wouldn't want to be sitting behind his left shoulder for this, which is definitely true. He had a really great speech. I really liked Patricia Arquette's speech as well, talking about transgender rights, and Michelle Williams. I thought it was another great winning for Best Actress in a limited series for her portrayal of Gwen Verdon. A lot of really, really cool wins. What else stood out to you, or what did you take away?
Yeah, it's funny because again, Arquette had won for Dannemora the past few years at the other award shows, but then she actually won for The Act instead. So Michelle Williams actually would win for lead actress in limited series. So yeah, Michelle Williams definitely prepared to talk about equal pay, something that she's kind of been at the center at the past 2 or 3 years, and I think that was great and nice. Can kind of cap on, I think, the overall message of the show, Fosse Verdon, and how it was, highlighting Gwen Verdon and the shine that she deserved and didn't actually get in the moment. So this is, I think, a nice bookend to that. I think we had really kind of called most of those. I mean, like some of them, like Bill Hader, cool, like to see that. Yeah. But Patricia Clarkson did not win because of Arquette with The Act. That was a little surprising to me. And then Peter Dinklage wins for Thrones. Thought that was pretty safe, as we said last week. And with Julia Garner from Ozark beating out the rest of the Thrones ladies, Dinklage goes down as the only Thrones regular to win an acting Emmy, which is kind of crazy to think about.
Yeah, I think they were a bit of eating their own kind with how many would be nominated in the categories, but they did get the big award at the end of the night, which predictable, a bit of, for an awards night where there were so many really welcome surprises. Thrones, I think, was deserving for the whole of the show, but probably not for this particular season in general, especially because the episode that they nominated for most of the awards was the finale. And,
right. Not Night of the Seven Kingdoms, which they should have picked.
Right. By far. And Steppenwall actually had a great tweet about that, how he thinks that could have actually impacted the writing in a drama series category if they had. But regardless, I just also wanted to shout out Jodie Comer.
Man.
We talked about how it's probably going to be Sandra Oh if anyone from Killing Eve won, but now that people recognize her work, and rightfully so, right. we can't say enough about her.
And then Jesse Armstrong won for comedy writing or drama writing with Succession.
Yeah.
Which is, I think, a nice bellwether for Succession Season 2 come next Emmys with Thrones gone. You figure the big contenders next year would be Thrones, Stranger Things Season 3, Handmaid's Tale Season 3 with Succession. So...
Not Thrones, though.
Oh, sorry. Stranger Things, Handmaid's Tale, Succession. That's probably the big three moving forward. But yeah, Succession, man. And then getting the moment with Nick Braun, Alan Ruck, Sarah Snook, and Jeremy Strong all kind of getting hyped and looking like they were very in character for that win. And another cool little moment.
Yeah. I have no doubt Succession's going to come on strong next year at the Emmys. Now that Thrones is out of the way. And it's kind of crazy to think about. We probably know, without any surprises, the top contenders for comedy as well are going to be Maisel and Barry. Those are probably going to be the top two. Maybe another one will sneak in there. Maybe we get another Natasha Lyonne and Russian Doll back. But that didn't get
that's
much
interesting.
love.
Yeah, because we assume Fleabag won't be back in time for next Emmys, and Good Place is ending, Veep is ended. Schitt's Creek could return, and yeah, Russian Doll, if that turnaround is quick. It was renewed, so yeah, so there could be some room for some new blood in comedy. That's cool.
So a lot to look forward to. TV just continues to be an amazing medium.